All right, welcome back, everybody. This edition of Benchwarmer Reports, all things sports related. My name is Try.
My name's Engerson. What's good, y'all?
All right, man. This week, I kind of want to talk about the Olympics, although it's kind of over. It's because we didn't get to talk about this, but the Sha'Carri Richardson race that she ended up in ninth place.
That was the Prefontaine Classic. I think that's what it's called. Right.
That's outside the Olympic, but the fact that this loss, this ninth place loss, clearly like she didn't even make it close to the top three. Got a lot of like posts, a lot of I'm sure criticism and just a lot more.
Well, she for sure got a lot of criticism, but she also did get a lot of support as well.
Right.
From what I've seen on social media. And
it's kind of like baffling because like ain't nobody ever really received such, I want to say, like mentions on social medias, news, and for like a ninth place finish, and like sometimes we're kind of like struggling to find news for like Olympic gold medalists that actually won something rather than Sha'Carri kind of taking over the whole track and field like news headline, because I know for a guy like me that I couldn't really follow Olympic that much, so it's really relying on like social medias to find out the results and the race and all that. I find myself seeing her more than the athletes, the female athletes that were actually competing in the Olympic. And she's the one with the commercial deal, and then I'm like, what's going on?
I think it was weird though because I can't remember the chick's name. Was it Thompson Elaine or whatever, Thompson Hera or whatever her name is? The Jamaican chick. I think she almost broke a record, or pretty much just when she won, she had her best time I think ever. Yeah. And they weren't really talking about that. They were just
she broke the record.
So she did break the record?
Yeah, I think she broke the record. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of the Jamaican chick's name. I'm trying to find it by reading this article. But I remember reading something a couple of days ago saying that she broke the record or whatever.
Right.
And I mean, you didn't really hear about that. You didn't really hear about that when it was first happening. All you really heard about was Sha'Carri coming in ninth place. And I wasn't really. I mean, it was good to see Sha'Carri back on the track racing and stuff.
But do you think at some point she kind of like got too cocky? Like she got, her name was in the limelight. She got comfortable. She got used to it, and like, even with the post race interview, she was like, "I'll be back. I'll be," and it was kind of like in a tone where it's like, just handle your loss. You like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're trying to say should she have sounded more humble? I mean, I guess, but I mean, I didn't really have nothing wrong with what she said, but you do have to at least back up your talk when it comes down to the race. Like this is the 100 meters. This is the fastest race. This is made for you to talk your shit when you win, but when you lose, you got to be humble. But I wasn't really mad at what she was saying. I was okay with what Sha'Carri was saying, but I think the media should have put more of an emphasis on the winners of that race, the people who positioned in first, second, and third than Sha'Carri.
And I think Sydney McLaughlin kind of said something in a video that she posted today. I think she's saying like the media glorifies like I don't want to put words in her mouth because I can't remember the exact words that she said, but it's along the line of like the media kind of glorifies like just bad news, or not bad news. It's just
the media glorifies more of like a story than they do like the actual results.
Right.
It's they're looking more for the headline.
Right. It's not about
the actual winners.
It's not about reporting accomplishments anymore necessarily in the media. It's about reporting like tragedy, disasters, or fuck up, failures and stuff like that.
Just it's more reporting the drama, and she's right by saying that, because if you really think about it, this past year and a half or so, this is the most that we've really seen track and field, like in the sports world, like being exposed, like a lot of people.
I would say more when Usain was winning. I mean, that was pretty fucking big, regardless if he's Jamaican and not American.
Yeah, but it was. Yeah, but this time too. No, you're right. Around when Usain was winning, but there's a lot of exposure then, especially when a couple months back DK went. He ran in that Olympic qualifier.
Right.
And they was showing it on like ESPN or Fox Sports or whatever. Yeah. And they rarely show like track events on, and it was like on the main Fox Sports, I think. Like they rarely show track stuff on the main sports channels, but because of him. So like this is, and then the Olympics came up a couple months after. So this has been the most like exposure track and field has been getting in a minute. And instead of them really highlighting the winners, the people who was breaking records at the Olympics and stuff, they keep talking about Sha'Carri, who got suspended for smoking and whatever.
And it's like at this point, or like you're only talking about, or you're only posting whatever gets you the click or whatever get the news going. But it kind of sucks for like, you know, the athletes who like dedicate themselves, fucking worked hard, but nobody really talked about them because they're just, you know, they're just simply winning without bringing the actual baggage that actually like promotes more clicks, which is kind of fucked up to this day and age to see that, because like, you know, we talk about the winners in the NBA more. Like we don't really talk about the losers unless it's the Lakers losing. Then, you know, all hell's break loose. Now we're gonna have to report on the Lakers.
Well, they talk about the Knicks too.
Not as much.
Yeah, well, okay. The Celtics.
Besides Stephen A. really shooting that down.
The Celtics. If the Celtics go and start having a bad season, they'll talk about the Celtics. But I get the point you're trying to make.
But you know, with football and whatnot, like even if you will always try to sneak in the top franchise, the money maker of the league. But if there's another team or another player who's balling or winning, they make sure to go around and spread.
That's true.
You know, the news.
Well, track is more of an individual sport, so that's kind of weird. Why I don't see why. I get why she's getting so much headline because, like you just said, it's getting the clicks and the views right now.
It makes no sense that she got a commercial off of failing a drug test.
I mean, I've seen people get commercials for worse. So I'm not mad at it.
I know, but it just it makes no sense. But
I get what you're saying. Like,
but I hope if she got a Beats commercial, then the one who won like gold medals, like they better get 2-3 commercials and a sponsorship deal and like maybe like clothing lines, like maybe not their own gear or anything like that, but just sponsors.
I feel like it would have been. This wouldn't have mattered if all that happened and she came to this race and at least got like fourth. At least was like running, keeping up, because we all know that those 3 Jamaican women
are fast.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. They're the fastest in the world.
Not Safari. What is it? Safari. I don't know.
Safari? You mean rainforest?
Nikki's ex. He's like, they eat like they don't eat non-GMOs. They eat like natural shit in Jamaica.
They probably do.
So I'm like,
I mean, is that
why?
I mean, it could be. I mean, he's not fast, so I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say that.
I'm like, could it be real? But then also, I came from another country, and I'm like, the food ain't that great. But also, that's island food. So I guess food in the
isn't Vietnam not really an island?
No.
I know Jamaica's an island.
Jamaica is.
I know Jamaica. But I was trying to compare.
Yeah, but then also it's like, do they really farm like that? Because if not, they would need to export things and import things. And if we're
I would assume. I would think they. That's this kind of a random like tangent, but I would assume that they do.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I mean, I don't want to use like smart words. I would assume it's like fertile land in Jamaica. I would assume that it's not, because it's not all desert. I know that for a fact.
Oh yeah, it's all beaches and sand and.
Yeah, so I would assume that inland is more like rainforesty and like land and soil that they could use.
But it's not big, so for farming you kind of need like gigantic amount of land in order to, grow
but you also got to remember, even though it's not big, it's not as many people.
That's true.
On Jamaica as it is back
in. All right, going back to this.
But yeah, like we were saying, like they don't really, those 3 chicks. So if she would at least came at fourth or got close and was keeping up with them, then and still lost. I don't think nobody would really say anything, like how you were bringing up all the endorsements and all that. Nobody would really care that much. But the fact that she came dead last, like you did all that. she was doing all the little TikTok stuff a couple weeks ago, saying, "Oh, she's back and all this, how she's about to come and shock the world at the Prefontaine Classic and then come last." Mm-hmm. You can't do all that.
But to analyze the race and break down the race in itself, she started out like guns blazing, kind of like really fast, and then just like slipped off. Back. Yeah. That kind of showed me like a sign of like maybe a little rusty, but also like not taking it serious and not like coming in with the approach of like respect for the other competitors.
Yeah, and I won't even say that maybe she took it serious, but I think maybe she tried to use her normal routine in the 100 meters, and you can't really do that with them because that's a race where you're gonna have to make sure you're winning the race the whole time because they will hawk you down, and that big lead that you thought you had in the beginning will disappear that fast. So I think she should have reserved herself. Maybe I'm not the best track runner, but I did run track in high school. I think she should have like maybe reserved herself a little, like the first like 10, 20 meters. But she just went, like you said, she just went full in.
Right, but also like track and field is like one of those things where it's literally a race. So like if you're not in the race, like you're not gonna have the ability to just like sit on the sideline, do your bunch of medias, go on this whole thing where you pop in for a second and then come back and think you're gonna win. Like regardless of your God's given talent, races, track and field is one of those things where you have to train. You have to like constantly be on the grind and make sure like you're catching up to the competitors. You're amongst the top, and you're always like pushing yourself to the limit. Yeah, and the other women's are.
And that's why I'm not so. I didn't really kill her how everybody else was, because with track and field, all it takes is for you to have one bad race, and you'll look like how she looked out there.
Yeah.